In this video, you will see what twine can do to a tree. If you leave a plastic twine on a tree, it can severely damage or kill your tree. Sometimes in a large nursery such as ours, a tree gets left tied up in the field, and after a few years it's damaged. And in this video I'm going to show you the damage from nylon twine that is left on a tree and what happens to the tree long term with this nylon left in place.
Well, this is a piece of wood that we split open, and one of the things that we split open is because this oddity that's right here, and this is a piece of twine that our guys used to tie up the tree with, but they never untied it, or we never dug the tree. It was in the field, so they never untied this portion of it. And it's a really good reason of why you need to untie this when you're planting. It's not so much that every time it's going to kill the tree, but since this is plastic, this plastic doesn't degrade and it girdles the tree. So if you ever have a tree that you buy and then you use nylon, you need to take the nylon off. We switched to all sisal twine just because of this, so that when we put the sisal twine on, it decomposes and rots off the tree, whereas this nylon will never do that. And this is a really good example of what it can do to a tree and how it can hurt it. One of the things we'll take a look at is that there's a little bit of vine growing right here. And where the vine was growing, the nylon didn't get to cut into the tree. And where you look at it from top here, the ring is really big, real nice big heavy growth increment. It's doing well on this side of the tree. Now, if we switch it over to the other side of the tree, the nylon is cutting real deep. You can see that the ring of the tree is going around the nylon and it's girdling the tree. It's hurting the tree here, but it's not hurting. You don't see any movement over here. There's no girdling occurring over here, but it's girdling occurring over here. And as a response, the ring is much smaller on this side of the tree, much smaller than this side. So this is basically the width of my finger, and this one here is a fourth of the width of my finger.
So what you're telling me, Michael, is that the poison ivy helped the tree?
Well, this one probably did. But it's just, you also see there's a real big dig out where the nylon goes in and hurts the tree.
Okay, now why is it fatter on this side of the tree than this side of the tree?
So if you see this bump right here, this bump is created because of how the tree itself is working. And when energy is moved through the tree, it moves through special cells called sleeve tubes, or we call it phloem. And that phloem is genetically made to go down the tree. And what I was told in school was that sleeve tubes are imagined like they're a bunch of balloons connected to one another. And if the tree wants to move energy downward, it pushes pressure on the one balloon, forcing juices from that one balloon out, and it forces it downward. So pushing, the energy squirts out, moves down to the next cell. That next cell contracts, energy goes down. That's how it moves downward. So you imagine the energy is being squished downward and downward and downward and downward, and it gets down to here where the constriction's at. Well, when these cells try to push it downward, it can't. So it just continuously builds up pressure and gets greater and greater pressure, and that's why it blows out in that direction. And then underneath of it, there's not energy getting there, so the energy is usually smaller. So that's why right above a girdle mark, you'll see there's big, thick hunks of wood, then where the girdle mark is, and then below it, there's less cells, less hunks of wood there. That's how you know that this is the top part and this is the bottom part to it. So just knowing a little bit of it, you can see the damage that this can occur to a tree. I was told, and I believe it, that if you do have nylon in the tree, that the tree will not be able to grow around and envelop it. I believe that. And I believe that it will always be a weak point on the tree wherever you keep nylon or any type of plastic into the tree. Now, saying that, if you ever use bare wire, on the other hand, has completely different properties in that the tree can compartmentalize, that the tree can grow around it, and the tree can live through it. A good example of that is if you see barbed wire there and the other ones are trees and old wood lines from farmers, the tree can grow completely around that barbed wire and not have a problem. And that's some of the reasons why if you have a brand new tree that was just dug and you plant it into the ground, it's okay to leave the wire cage on. You just have to make sure that the wire cage is not sticking up out of the ground. when the roots come in contact with it, the roots will be able to envelop it. But if you get a new tree and it has nylon on it or has any type of plastic on it, the tree won't be able to grow through that. The tree will be affected like that, and the tree, in my opinion, will die.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mike. And do we use nylon at Highland Hill Farm?
No, we got rid of nylon just because of instances like this. You can't take that risk. We use Cecil twine, which is a twine made from grass, and it's rolled up, and that's what we like to use because it biodegrades, breaks apart. The tree's hydraulic pressure can also break that twine, whereas a tree hydraulic pressure won't be able to break that.